Did you know that when children get lost in the woods, they tend to favor one leg and list in that direction, making them go in big circles? Adults do it too, but they tend to logic their way out of a situation, making them a little more difficult to track. If you ever find yourself lost in a forest, find a hill and go down it. At the bottom of hills, there's usually a river, and where there's a river, there's usually a town.
This video is for anyone who feels like they look way larger in photos than they do in real life. First of all, I want to start off this video by saying you are not going crazy. This is actually a thing, and it is because of your back camera. I'm going to teach you all why this happens and how to fix it today. What's up, posers? Christine here, and today is day 5 of our month-long photogenic boot camp where I give you a practical posing tip every single day so you can look your best in front of the camera. So I'm going to teach you how to fix this problem by showing you an example. First thing, I have my photographer stand about 2 feet away from me and take a normal photo with the back camera. After that, she's going to step back to 5 feet away from me and zoom into 1.4 times and then take another photo of me so we can compare. So here's the 2 photos, and on first glance, you might not really see that big of a difference because it's my body, it's not your body, so you don't look at it every day. However, I want to zoom in on a few key differences between these 2 photos. First up, look at my face. My face looks way wider at 1x zoom, my eyes look farther apart, and my nose looks a lot wider. Next, I think that this one's really the most visible. Look at how much wider my hands are at 1x zoom than 1.4x zoom. And finally, look at the difference between my belly shelf and my thigh in these pictures. Like, you can see that with the 1.4, it's a lot smaller, a lot more clearly defined. With the 1x zoom, my thigh is like double the size of my thigh in the 1.4x zoom. So why is this happening? Well, I don't want to get too techie, but it's basically because all iPhones come with a wide angle lens as their default camera. So they have the wide angle lens and then the ultra wide angle lens. And when you're using a wide angle lens, you're more likely to be subject to something called barrel distortion, which means whatever is in the center of your frame becomes curved and wider in your photo. So the best way to fix this is by having what I had my photographer do in the second photo. Have them stand 5 feet away from you and zoom into 1.4. Your features will look more natural and balanced. So there you go. If this video helped, be sure to share it with a friend and follow along for day 6.
I'm a Harvard-trained dermatologist. Let's talk about how your nails can reflect your internal health. So today I was doing a skin check on a patient and I was looking at her nails. And if you look really closely, yep, there's no lunula. Lunula are those half-moon shaped spots towards the cuticle. So if you look at my nails, you see that half moon at the cuticle, that's normal. So by seeing whiteness and pallor of her nail plate and no lunula, I asked her, are you anemic? And then she said, yeah, how'd you know? I really am struggling with my anemia. There are different causes of leukonychia or whiteness of the nail plate, and no lunula really does suggest anemia. Pretty interesting stuff. Hope this helps. Peace.
This is how you treat nausea without a pill. Studies have shown that sniffing alcohol swabs can decrease your nausea. I was actually skeptical until I tried it myself on a helicopter, and I was amazed how well it worked.
Here's how we fold tape in the film industry. Instead of tearing it off like this, what you want to do, peel it to the length you want, fold it over and under itself, forms a triangle like this, place your thumb over it to hold it, and then rip. That way, creates a little tab, so that way you can easily peel and grab your next piece. Then when it's time to bust them, you can easily peel them off.
This stuff is like powdered gold. Did you know that this milk powder can be a massive flavor enhancer in your baked goods? So when you brown butter and you get those little flecks of brown, which is where the flavor is, those are milk solids. And this milk powder is basically untoasted milk solids, but we can toast it. So you're going to add your milk powder to a saucepan or a frying pan. Something wide is better, and over a very low heat you're going to cook it and stir constantly until the milk powder starts to caramelize. If you don't stir it constantly, it can clump, but if you do get some clumps, just pressing them, they should break up back into a powder. And you want to take it nice and dark so you've got a really good flavor. Once it's cooked, you're going to turn it out onto a baking tray, spread it so it's nice and thin so it can cool down, and then once it's fully cooled, you can pop it in a jar and it'll keep for a year. You can now add that to basically anything. If you're browning butter, you can add some of this to it to amplify the flavor, or if you're making cake or a cookie batter, you can just add some straight into your regular ingredients and mix it through. It'll add tons of flavor, but this is well worth trying.
Got a messy cabinet. Put marbles in a dollar store cake pan, add another on top. And you've got a $3 Lazy Susan.
If you pay for an Adobe subscription and are a slave like I am to the monthly fees, here's how you save $300 per year just by threatening to cancel. So all you have to do is log into your account, go to manage plan, then you're going to hit cancel your. They're going to pull out the pathos and appeal to your sense of loss, but you're just going to hit continue, and then they're going to whip out these two options. So you can get 2 months free and save $100, or just keep the discounted price for the next year. And that ends up averaging out to $300 a year. You're welcome.
Yo, I've been growing out my armpit hair for like over a month now, just so I can show you guys how easy it is to make your own sugar wax at home and wax yourself. So let's do that. To make sugar wax, it's literally so easy. All you need is water. Fucking stupid bitch. Water, a lemon, and sugar. You're gonna add 2 cups of sugar, 1/4 of a cup of water, and 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice. And then turn your stove on like medium low heat. And this is where people mess. Why does it look like I have a bald spot? That is not a bald spot, right? Okay, I just have like a really far hairline. Okay, anyways. And this is where people mess up. Do not completely mix it or else it will dissolve. Just like mix it a little bit and let it sit there. I am going to oil my containers. No! Yeah, maybe I should transfer this to a bigger pot. Okay, it's been like 15 minutes and then my sugar wax is like this nice brown caramel color, so I'm gonna turn off the heat. I'm gonna transfer it into my little cups. And then you can let the sugar wax sit for like 3 to 5 hours. All right, let's wax. The first thing I'm gonna do is put baby powder on my armpit so the wax grips better. Take the wax that we just made. I'm only gonna use like this much. You're gonna warm it up in your hands and then you're gonna keep pulling it until it literally turns into wax. And then you just wax. Wait. Oh, holy matrimony. And since the wax is literally made out of sugar, you can just wipe off the residue with a wet towel and look at that, so clean. You're welcome.
One of the best things my ex had ever told me is even if you get food delivered to your house, yell out, food is here, and yell out like someone's name. Like I always say, like, Ahmed, food is here, and like I make sure the person delivering the food knows that there's someone else in the house, even if there isn't.
Do you see what's wrong with this photo? Do you see what's wrong with this photo? How about this one? How about this one?
It's come to my attention that nobody on TikTok or Pinterest knows the proper way to store perfume. So if you looked at this photo and you had a visceral reaction to seeing perfume on the bathroom counter, you were correct. If you keep your perfume in the bathroom, when you shower, all of the steam, all of the constant temperature fluctuations are going to spoil your perfume a lot faster than if you store them correctly. Now you're thinking, okay, I'll take them out of my bathroom and I'll put them on my dresser or my windowsill. Don't do that either. Store your fragrance in a cool, dry, dark place. I always recommend your closet or a dresser drawer. Some people keep them in the fridge. You don't have to go that far. But when you store them correctly, they will last you for years and years.
If you're learning to drive or you just hate driving at night, watch this, because literally nobody taught me this until I've been driving for like 8 years. So your rearview mirror has this like little tabby thing. I don't know if you can see it. This little tabby thing. And if you pull this thing, it changes the mirror. So it's reflecting less light. Tabby thing down, tabby thing up. Much brighter. And because there's like a secondary mirror in here that moves it, and it makes it easier to see at night because it like cuts the light of the headlights behind you. So there's less light shining back in your eyes. And I drove for like 8 years without knowing this. And it changed my fucking life. Also, it works both ways. So like in this way, like you pull the tabby thing towards you, but like if I adjust this with the tabby thing down, I can just push it back up and it does the same thing. So like be able to see at night, I guess.
This stuff is expensive, and why fill up our landfills with its empty cans? Today I'm going to show you how to make your own DIY baking spray at home. Our key ingredient here is vegetable shortening. Vegetable shortening's viscosity keeps the flour evenly dispersed and gives our baking spray a proper consistency for brushing. Place half a cup of vegetable shortening and 2/3 of a cup of flour in the bowl of a stand mixer. Beat these together on medium-low speed until smooth, about 2 minutes. Then with the mixer still running, drizzle in 1/2 cup of vegetable oil and beat till smooth. This will take an additional minute. Transfer your mixture to a lidded container and use a pastry brush to apply it anywhere you might otherwise spray. And there you have it. It's that simple. Less expensive and less wasteful DIY cooking spray.